Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the LTA report. Man, oh man, am I happy. I should have a different shirt on, but it's in the wash right now. Uh, I see you, Warren. Um, First and foremost, before we start, just a reminder to everybody that we do have a Discord. So that's where all the announcement is. That's where we get all the podcast questions and stuff like that. So if you haven't joined the Discord, we'll put it in the description. I'll also put it in chat in a couple of minutes. So definitely we want people to join the Discord because that's the best way to kind of communicate off of YouTube. But now we can start with our first topic, and boy, oh boy, do I have a lot to talk about. Shopify upsets Cloud9 again. Or actually not again, but Cloud9 choke again. The games were very exciting, except for game one. I'm going to say game four was exciting too, for if you're a Cloud9 fan, and if you're a Shopify fan, you're like, okay, are we going to come back? Is it over? But just to kind of run through the series, game one, we get stomped. We do nothing proactive, and we get stomped. Happens. Like we didn't play like we did. Seiyus after the game said like we didn't play the way like we were playing a little bit nervous. Game two, we're down over 5,000 gold, and then you guys pull a Shopify. Our Otacon setups against Dignitas, against 100 Thieves, like literally every single game we lose, we throw at Otacon. We are so bad around this objective. And then Cloud9, for some reason, decide to tap into our spirit and just absolutely butcher the Otacon, give us free kills and the Otacon. Like, I think we got 2 kills and the Otacon. We went from like 5.4k down to like 2k. It was like a crazy gold swing. The game was pretty much back in our favor, and we were able to win out with our comp. A big point of controversy or topic was Palafox. Palafox game 1 got gapped. Game 2, the beginning, he was just getting like focused, flashed on by Nautilus, by Jarvan. He was like struggling, and then he just like was better than Loki for the rest of the series, which is not something I thought I would say. The big takeaways for me, not to brag a lot about Shopify, is that we fought a lot. That's something that Busio was even mentioning in pros. He was like, dude, I was seeing like freaking contracts on Vi flat, like queuing, flash, ulting just to get in range to start fights. And that's pretty much what we did. We took 3v4s and won them. We took like very weird angles that you wouldn't expect that aren't around team fighting because Cloud9 just have better objective setups. Like it was objectively a fact that we have worse setups. And so we just fought in between. And it looked like Cloud9 was not prepared. Like they took one punch on the chin and they did not get back up. This team, I know everyone's been saying they're fragile. Like I've been saying, this team is soft, man. They get hit once and they don't know what to do. The only series that they won was like the one against Lion, and they more like it was more because the close series that they won was against Lion was because Vulcan had to go for a funeral and like that whole shenanigans happened. But besides that, every time they've been challenged, they crumbled, which is really weird to see when you have Sven and Vulcan. Sven, I gotta talk about Sven. The two people on Cloud9. Okay, everybody's focused on Blabber when I think no one's talking about Sven getting solo killed multiple times. Like, what is going on with this guy? He was the best player in finals of last split. And now he's just like getting gapped by Seiyus, Bvoy, who 2 years ago were both playing in CBLOL. That is not what you expect out of like pretty much unanimously a top, 2, if not top 3 AD carry in this region. And probably in the West, like he's one of the top of all times. I don't know what happened to Sven that game, but that's the entire series, honestly, besides game 1. Like, maybe the Senna game, I think Vulcan played a lot better. I thought he still didn't have a great Senna game when he's normally a very good Senna. He got solo killed by Sivir as Ziggs. Like, I don't know how that happens, but he just straight up got solo killed. He was getting caught. He died 2v2 more than once. He was like getting his summoners burnt and having like really bad lane states overall. Which is very strange. And then Thanatos, who was supposed to gap Fudge, didn't have like he got solo killed. I think the only game where I felt like he was able to push his presence in the game was the Mbessa game. The Rumble game, I felt like the game was like we didn't really do anything, so he didn't need to do anything. And then the Mbessa game, like he got one small lead and he was able to push that lead and completely screw over Fudge. But then he lost the Aatrox into Gnar matchup, you should never lose that, especially as Thanatos. And then he played Cassante into Cho'Gath. Like, I don't know why he played Cassante, but like he literally couldn't do a thing, which is strange when you have. I thought he was the best player in the entire league. I thought Thanatos just had the biggest gap between him and second place, even more than Inspired and second place. Like I thought was Blabber or maybe even Contracts. Very very strange showing from Cloud9, and I'm glad that we're a team that's like, if you don't give us 100%, we're just gonna fight. You know, it wasn't clean, it wasn't pretty, but we took the series. And it's worrisome for Cloud9, but it's also really cool to see from Shopify that we're not a team that buckles, which is really strange to think. You would think Shopify are the team to buckle, not Cloud9. But yeah, Cloud9 have buckled every time they had an opportunity to buckle, and you know, Shopify, every time we had to show up, we've shown up. So I don't know what you think about the players specifically, about the Blabber criticism, about Cloud9 being soft, but that's sort of my diagnosis after watching the games.
The first thing I'll speak about the buckling point. I'm not gonna put that too much on them in the sense that the only team they've had the chance to like really like step up is FlyQuest, and let's be real, up until at this point, no team has still laid a glove on them outside of us. Like, we're the only team that's come close to beating them. And like in reality, we probably should have won those two series. And I think it's so frustrating because it's something we didn't see coming. Even like historically, where you could say like Blabber, Sven, Vulcan have been like chokers, right? Even on C9. This whole year has never felt like that. Even in the finals, it was still a case of, damn, these guys pushed them really like to their brink. And even you said like yourself last week, we are a great team, and I don't think this loss eradicates that. I think, yes, there could be some cause for concern that why did you buckle after game 2? Because I'll be completely honest, I think if we win that game 2, we win that series 3-0. Because we were just oozing confidence throughout that entire game 1 and game 2. And then we completely chucked it. And life's a humbler, and we got humbled. Like, there's no. I know Dom said we prepared for them. It did show. I think we played game 1 and 75% of game 2 pretty spectacularly. And then we, like, you always sometimes get these games where it just starts going silly. Like, you even had it against FlyQuest last split, right? It's like the game will be going smooth, and then suddenly the game just starts getting crazy. And when the game gets crazy,
we took them to 3 when we played them.
Yeah, like when games get crazy, anything can happen, and it's just caused unnecessary stress because now we have to win out to make it to the cross-conference playoffs. I still think we're gonna come second. I know we lost, and like there was no excuses for, like, I even said, even if we won, we should not be happy with how we performed. That, like, it was an embarrassing way. Like, it was an embarrassing showing. I'm not even gonna say it's the first seed because it's not like we actually fucking asked for it to begin with that shit format. Like, I don't think that can be used against us, like, as harshly as other teams that have earned the first seed, right? I mean, like, you can argue, why did we pick Shopify? To be honest, based on our skill level, that should it really matter? Like, we were, and you can, all the C9 content leading up to this, they were so confident that they were going to roll you because they don't believe that you're a good team. And maybe they still don't, but at least I know, or I hope, going into future series, because we're going to get a rematch probably. I think you'll lose like a 3-1 to FlyQuest. I'll give you that prediction now. I don't know if we were doing that later on because it's 2 weeks away, but I think we'll meet again. And I'm hoping next time we're a little bit more prepared because the drafts were... I even tweeted it.
I was about to ask you, you made a tweet basically saying if my coach drafted the way that he drafted, I wouldn't have him as my coach.
I think Reaper is one of the most unclutch coaches of all time. I'm gonna put that statement out there. As much as like joy he's given me as a fan, when it comes to changing the course of C9 history, majority of the time we fumble. Like, I can think of when we lost to WE when we were 2-1 up and we had like a 5k gold lead in game 1 and we could have actually won 3-0 when we had the momentum against TSM, and you remember in finals 2016 when Doublelift did that insane Lucian play? We had the momentum, game 4, should have gone to a game 5, maybe could have won that. The 2017 TSM when we were 2-1 up again, and then lost 3-2, and the Jensen thing happened. In game 5, the Team Liquid, where we were 2-1 up in grand finals against the Impact Jensen era of TL, when we were stomping them, and then we threw it. Another one when we were 2 up against TSM in 2019, and then we got reverse swept off of a single play. It happened exactly how this series when Sneaky walked up mid lane when we were like 6-7k gold up, and then he got caught, and then Bjergsen rallied behind and made that insane play bot, and then the series flipped on its head. That's how this series felt. We were in cruise control. Like, I felt like we were on autopilot. It looked like, based on your players' faces, you're just like laughing it off. Like, okay, we're getting our shit kicked in, it's whatever. And we look like, man, these guys are bums. Like, what are we doing? And then, yeah, life's a humbler.
I will say, at the topic of draft, I think we actually, like, I'm not going to say you guys had really bad draft, but I am going to say we had really good draft. I think we had much better prep, even though you guys prepped. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you didn't prep, but I think we just had answers that you guys didn't expect. The fact that you guys picked Cassante, game 3, made no sense. I think even Dom was like, can Thanatos even do anything on Cassante? Like, I'm not entirely sure who asked for that, but the Cassante made no sense. We had really good answers with the Vi, Cho'Gath, and Cassiopeia into Yone. We pretty much baited the Yone pick, and then game 5, banning out every single jungler that you guys could play. And then you're like, okay, I guess we only have Rek'Sai left, unless we want to pull out like an Amumu, which I don't know exactly fits the comp. But I thought our draft adaptation was really good. The fact that we picked Red Side in the series, except for game 5, obviously, is something that caught you guys off guard. I think Vulcan was even saying like we didn't expect that. I think even Palafox was like, "Wait, we're we're gonna be on Red Side." But he trusted the coaching staff, and it worked.
Because you had like the entire series blue side, which is crazy to me. No, you guys
played 4 games blue.
We were 4 games blue, which is wild to me.
Yeah, I think game 5, like the fact that you guys gave us Zinza, like at the end of the day, you were gonna have to trade whether it's AD carry or jungler, and you picked to trade the junglers, and we banned the Olaf.
Inera said we opted for, because we thought you guys had picked Nico. It was like a Nico Xin.
Oh, the Nico, sorry,
yeah, and we opted for, which I don't think that was a worthy trade, considering, well, hindsight's a wonderful thing, but considering the option.
I think the idea is that if you have Nico, you win. Like that trade in the bot lane, and then the game might be very different if Blabber doesn't int that dive. Like if Vulcan plays it better, I think a lot of people are pointing to Blabber, but that's just Vulcan. Vulcan should take aggro and then turn into a cannon minion, and then like just tank 6 tower shots. He didn't do that, so Blabber died. But then everyone's just like, Blabber, what did you do? And maybe I looked at it incorrectly, but like maybe he went in too early. I mean, maybe some of it is to blame on Blabber. But I just think Vulcan kind of
aggroed.
I mean, red buff only aggroes if you use an ability, so
yeah,
he had to have autoed. So then the question is, why didn't Vulcan take aggro before Blabber goes in?
It was a mess.
And then turned them in. I think what happened actually was maybe I watched it a couple times that I don't remember now. I think Vulcan tried to take aggro, but he got flashed on by Leona and stunned. And so he never actually got aggro. And Blabber just assumed that Vulcan saying, "Hey, I'm taking aggro," and then he never took aggro. And maybe that's what happened. But either way, I think a lot of criticism has went to Blabber because he had to make a lot of those plays. I think the Jarvan play, like trying to dash on like EQing on a Lucian.
Oh, don't.
I agree. You guys could have just like backed off. You guys had won that situation.
But we
You
had
guys
the
kind of
Drake.
trolled
The
there.
Drake was ours.
Yeah. Dragon was free. We actually had TP, so maybe it's not completely free, but either way, like I think Baron was over. Like there was no way we were gonna get Baron, and you guys kind of just ran it down. But besides that, like I felt like a lot of times he was doing what the team needed to happen, which is something that Palafox talked about. He said, "Look, I was telling B-Boy, like my team was playing scared, and I was telling him, look, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna flash in, even if I die. It doesn't matter. Just play with B-Boy. If they spend their abilities on me, we win 100% of the time." There's a play, game 2, when we had Rel and you guys had Victor, and Rel tried to Q flash the Victor, and Victor flashes it. I don't know if you remember, but it was bot side jungle, near Dragon. And apparently Palafox was just telling his team, like, why are we afraid? Just go, just fight. And so that's how that fight started. Because like I don't know why we're scared. Like we're stronger at this point in the game. So I think Blabber was doing that for you guys, where it did seem like you guys didn't have the confidence to take fights, which is something Cloud9 are supposed to have.
And like, you won the series, but like a lot of your actual setups to these fights were like terrible and punishable, and we completely just shit the bed. We completely, after game 2, like that gave me 2020 vibes. Of like, this team has no idea. This team reverting to comfort picks. This team's drafting has just gone out the window. And I've seen that from Reaper a million times. And that's why, after this split, after this season, I do want a change. And I'm saying that, and we may even go on and win. You can't keep being this unclutch when you don't need to, like, yes, we can just go and what I predict is going to happen, I think we're just going to fucking steamroll this lower bracket. And yes, we may do that and qualify for Thing and may qualify for Worlds. But we don't always have to do things the hard way. And it feels like with Reaper, we always have to go, like, it's never like a straight line. And his drafting has been universally terrible since the dawn of time. And one thing that we've lost as a Reaper team is our proactivity to be creative. Like, just random picks that, like, we saw you guys do it. Like, we saw the LeBlanc, Cassio, that completely, like, we just turbo, like, aggroed your comp by picking friggin' Poppy and, what else was it? Yone. Into that shit, and just thinking, oh, we're just gonna disrespect.
Well, Yone was first pick, but everything else, yeah, you picked into it. You picked the Cassante and the Poppy, and it's like, who's gonna get on Cassio again? Like, especially with the Cho'Gath like defending her and a Vi.
It makes me really annoyed because this has happened so many times throughout so many different iterations of Reaper C9s, where we would just capitulate into what we used to be, and just playing for ourselves, playing completely like not cohesive champions that worked. And we've seen it throughout this entire year, the amount of progress we've made as a team. And it just felt like when things went wrong, instead of sticking to what we like knew, instead of someone taking a breath, and this leads me on to my next point, this team doesn't have a leader. No matter what people say, there is no veteran that is going to make the team take a breath. Because our veterans, Blabber and Sven, I know Vulcan is too, but he's not the primary shot caller. Blabber is. And when Blabber and Sven, who's the most decorated player on our team, is tilting out of his mind, and I could tell that was a Sven tilter series. You saw the way he was playing. It's just
that was the worst series I've seen him play in like years. He played better on Dignitas. Like, what happened?
I haven't. That's what I felt when we played EWC, when he was just playing tilted. And I was like, okay, the series is in trouble if we're playing like that, and we need to get more 6. I don't care if TL are amazing at overloading side lanes, and we, to some degree, showcased that. Like, we were, what was it, 2-3k down, and then we was able to just claw it back through side lane. Still lost at that game, I think. Game 3.
You did, but yeah, I mean, you also got solo killed in the mid lane as Ziggs versus Sivir. We didn't get to see it, but we just see like Just
Yeah.
dry B-Boy killing. That I don't think I've ever seen that ever happen.
And the thing is, like, it makes me upset because I want to praise you guys, but I feel a lot of what happened, we was really shit in the bed. I will praise Fudge. He absolutely capitalized on what I thought Thanatos was a really nervous series. He played nervous that entire time. Like, the Noah pick, that should be his bread and butter. Like, when we
That's a
locked that in,
matchup that's been played for years, man. He should have like 10,000 games on that matchup.
and the thing is, we know how good his Noah is. Like, this league, there's
We
no one
saw
in
him
this
last year.
league close.
Or last year, yeah.
And yeah, I think it's just annoying losing to Fudge and Palafox. That really grinded my gears. But
I will say I am worried for you guys because there's another team in a different region that had a very similar trajectory to you guys, who was a really, really, really good team and took the top team of their league to 5 games, lost that, and then the next time they played, they kind of choked, and then they kind of went downhill from there. Hanwha Life, if you don't remember, was the best team in the world in like early February, right? When first stand happened. They're the best team in the world. Then going into MSI, they were supposed to be the second seed. T1 had no business winning that series, but they got 3-0'd because Hanwha Life kind of mental boomed after getting reverse swept, after getting defeated by Genji in the upper bracket. And then T1 kept improving, and Hanwha Life didn't. And now it's like very, very clear that Hanwha Life is like the third team. They're not even close to being second.
yeah,
And I know that happened over a while, but like, why is that something? First of all, Shopify is a team that has been consistently been improving. That is the one thing we have done that I think very little teams have shown. The reason we broke into the top 4 and now the top 2 is because we consistently improved, whereas other teams don't. We found our mistakes, we work on them, and we like really hone in on the things that we do well. Which is something Dom talked about as well. Like they really wanted to focus on the things that we do well and prevent that because they knew that's the only way we could win. I'm worried for this Cloud9. This Cloud9 team, like you choked at EWC against a team you guys are 10 times better. You choked now against a team who you should like be twice as good, right? Do you just keep doing this? Like, what's going to happen when you end up facing us in the lower bracket, right? Like, let's say we lose, and then you end up having to face us. What's going to happen? Are you going to choke again? Are you not going to play 100%? Is it going to go to another 5 games? Can you guys win a game 5? You haven't won a game 5 yet. Can you?
no.
Like, do you guys have the mental fortitude to do that?
Well, we're gonna have our own, and the thing is, we have to. Like, we don't. Like, the one thing we have to ensure is that we get our second life back, because there is another playoffs after this. Like, we do have to remember that. Like, there is another playoffs. Like, we can lose to you in the third place match, and then I don't know, somehow beat FLYQUEST. I'm not saying we will, but you never know. I'm confident with the 2 weeks off. We are always historically a terrible meta team in terms of how we are when the meta first changes. We always have a terrible read on it, and like props to the people that predicted that, right? Because it looked exactly that. Not only did we like mentally capitulate, we then just started drafting the worst shit I've seen. I think with 2 weeks off, you're gonna have a warm up series against well, I haven't thought about who I think's gonna win out of DSG and Dig yet. But either way, you're gonna have a warm up series against one of those two. It's not gonna be close. And then the real like pressure is playing TL, because I think they'll win their match against 100 Thieves or Lion. And
I think you guys will win that series, and then I think you guys should be very nervous playing against the loser between us and FlyQuest.
I don't think so, because we'll be warmed up by then. Because we're I don't think I have to say this because it's my team, but I genuinely don't believe that we are now like much lower. I think it was a freak series, even though our mental can, like, you've seen it historically, yes, but I have also seen
literally last year, yeah, with 3 of the same 5 players and the same coach. Like,
well,
yes,
we didn't have
Zen
last year. We didn't have Zen last year.
You had Thanatos, you had Blabber, you had Vulcan.
Okay, yeah, fair point. But I will say, Vulcan was not part of this core in that series. He played out. I thought he was like one of the best players on the Rift, even when we was losing.
I agree. He played really well.
Right. So we've seen our highs, and I know our highs, and I believe that what we've shown this entire year is not reversed in one series. Now, again, if we go and struggle against DSG or Dig, then I'm going to be like, okay, something's clearly wrong with this team, and then I'm not confident we beat TL.
Let me remind you to 2022 spring when you had the whole shenanigans of Fudge, moving mid, and you guys brought in Summit top lane, and Summit was the MVP. He was by far the best top laner. Everyone was like, "Oh my god, this Cloud9 team is incredible!" And then you go into playoffs and get 3-0'd in the first series because Summit can't play tanks. And then you go into the lower bracket and you cruise the lower bracket. Summit is playing Ornn, he's playing Sion, he's playing like all these tanks, and then the same problems show up as soon as you face a strong team. And I think it was Team Liquid at that time, and you guys lose again. 3-0. And like last year, you guys also lost to FlyQuest in the upper bracket. You lost to what's it called? To Team Liquid. Not Team Liquid, to 100 Thieves as well. Like, it just feels like this team I don't want to blame it on Blabber. I don't know who to blame it on, honestly. But there's a systemic issue where, like, when you guys are winning, you're winning. But when you guys struggle, you collapse. Like, this team, I'm sorry to say it, but, like, I'm starting to look back at EWC and think maybe it wasn't all of the circumstances that you guys were blaming it on. It's like, oh, lack of sleep. Even your loss against Team Liquid in Split 1, you guys were like, well, Team Liquid had the better facility. We didn't have air conditionings. We were struggling. We couldn't sleep. We couldn't practice, blah, blah, blah. And, like, you guys were in a lead in those games, and you still threw. And now it's like, do you guys just not handle pressure well? Like,
I mean, you know what these players are like, though. Like, I'm not here to start blaming Korean rookies for not having the mental fortitude when our veterans are the ones collapsing. I am not putting this on either of those two rookies. Like, I just am not. Historically, yes, these veterans can capitulate, and we've seen that many times. I've also seen this coach many, many times struggle to get his players back on side. And guess what? These are the exact same players that were there before. So, yes, we've seen our highs, we've also seen lows, but I'm more confident that, like, I didn't come out of that series thinking, man, Shopify gapped us. I thought we completely shit the bed. And, like, that's why I'm not coming into this thinking we're still not the second best team. I would still predict us, if we played tomorrow, knowing what we'd seen, I would still predict us. Maybe like I said, now they have to see how they handle pressure. Because now the pressure's on. If you lose to Dig or to TL, your season's done.
I think there's a little bit of pressure against TL, sure. But I think the big pressure is going to be the match after Team Liquid. I think that's where the pressure is really going to be on. If that's against us, like a rematch, even if it's against FlyQuest, like if we do win, which I think no one's going to predict, but like regardless of who they play, I think that's when the real pressure is on. Because even though you made it, like now you're fighting to see if you make it to Texas.
Yes, because beating you means we probably go to Worlds. I think that's the Worlds decider, by the way.
It is. Let's be honest, it is, yeah.
Right. Like, I do think that series will be like, I do think we'll get through the low bracket. Like, I'm already making that prediction that we're going to steamroll it. 2 weeks, learn the patch. Dom's going to be there now, and I think that could make a big difference. Someone that will actually be able to communicate with these players. Because I'm not sure about our coaching staff. Like, genuinely. Not being able to win either of the high pressure series against FlyQuest, I'm honestly discounting EWC. People can if they want, that's absolutely fine. the Shopify one's embarrassing. Because I feel like this season actually defines so much for us as an organization. Like, considering how things are going elsewhere. Like, we're not spending high on any of our teams. And it feels like the crutch that is left is League of Legends. And if we miss Worlds, we're not. Like, I'm not saying we're in a TSM arc or anything. Like, absolutely not.
No, you're much better off. Yeah.
Like, but you start questioning when's the next title gonna come. When's the next Worlds appearance gonna come? And I'm not ready to think about that yet because I still think we're gonna win the lower bracket, personally.
I mean, I don't want to keep like repeating the same issue, but again, last year I saw the same problems happen in summer where you guys finished second and like you guys kind of collapse after one loss. And this year you guys
I think the
collapsed
conditions are different
during
though,
the game.
because I think the conditions for like the other times we have collapse is when the vibes of the team are completely off. Some players are checked out. The team's arguing. The coach has no idea what he's doing. And like scrims are going poorly equal, but like leading up to this Shopify series, the vibes are good, practice is good, playing like better teams. So like I think we got some FLYQUEST. I'm not 100% sure, but it seems like we got FLYQUEST scrims. Seemed to go fine. And then the series happened. I think it was an in-series problem, and I'll be
I'd
interested to
hope so
see
because I do want it to be like competitive. I don't want you guys to collapse and lose 3-0.
if we go out with a win.
but
It'd be
I'm worried.
very tragic. That's
I'm
fine.
worried for y'all.
I'll
be honest.
Not yet.
I have been saying this Shopify squad's goal is to make it to Worlds next year because Worlds is going to be in an A. The fact that we're in this position, I know that's not their goal. That's my goal for them. It's like, hey, give this team 2 years. Let's like really focus on making Worlds when it's in North America. And they have an opportunity to like win one series and you're at Worlds, right? That's pretty much the TLDR. But yeah, they're overperforming for sure, and it's scary. It's scary for Cloud9. I think
it's unnecessary more than scary. Like at least from my eyes, like it's an unnecessary pressure because you could be like, if we would have 3-0'd that series, which it looked like we were doing, it would have then set up like a really cool best of 5 with FLYQUEST. Like, man, FLYQUEST looked fucking sick. And then C9 3-0's them. And then you have that pressure off in some ways because you've secured top 2. You're going to, well, more or less secured top 2. You go into the cross conference, and then you have FLYQUEST on your opposite side of your bracket, so you're like more than likely going to Worlds.
we can transition to FlyQuest because you're talking about that, about FlyQuest and like a matchup against them. Obviously, you guys aren't the ones that can have the matchup. We are in Shopify. I think anybody predicting anything but FlyQuest winning is predicting an upset, which is exactly what I'm going to say. The reason I'm predicting Shopify, I actually thought about this. I was like, are we going to win from the upper bracket or the lower bracket? I think that Shopify has shown that we can level up every single series, and that teams are not necessarily prepared to do that. Now, I think FlyQuest is more mentally stable than Cloud9, as you know, has been proven. I think they really, like, especially Inspired gives a lot of leadership to that team, and they really rarely crumble. But I do think that as a team, just from like the jungle support, I think Busio and Inspired have kind of ran a league. And I'm really happy with the level that I'm seeing from Contracts, and specifically Seus. Because when he first started, he was mechanically very, very good, but he was always late to everything. He was always not where he's supposed to be. And now he even talked about that. He was like, man, the tempo that people play in NA is something I am not used to. We do not play this quickly in Brazil. He's caught up. And if we can match that, I have full faith in Fudge winning the top lane. I am not worried for Palafox in the mid lane. And B-Boy was our best player last series. I think we can actually go toe-to-toe with these players. And I'm not going to say we're favored, but I think we have a legitimate shot that people aren't giving us.
I think you're going to go 3-0'd. And here's the reason why. It's because where I'll disagree that you leveled up is I don't think the force in the objectives was also an indicator of like you acknowledging stuff. Like as equally, I think that's somewhat of the team's level is they don't have the best objective setup. They don't have good fight setups, and I think that's where FLYQUEST will punish you because they are actually going to realize what the fuck are these guys doing? Because we apparently like didn't. Dom was consistently shouting, "Why aren't we like these guys are there for the taking?" And we consistently like just either backed off because we were scared or just let you take something. The only time we actually fought you off of something was when the Baron fight where Loki was just poking you for fun with Victor. Which I don't know how we did, by the way, because we had no sums on anything, no ults, and all he was doing was poking you, and then you was able to get off it, and then like the rest is history in that fight. So, like, while I think the top lane matchup will be interesting, I just think the fight setups I really didn't like from Shopify, and I think that's where FLYQUEST will punish you hard for it. Like where we didn't in that series.
I think I agree. Our objective setups are bad. I don't think our fight setups are bad. Like these skirmishes that we fight, Contract sees angles that like even Busio was saying, like, I didn't see that angle, but apparently it's there. You know, the guy flashed out and he's just like, I don't care, I'm flash ulting, you know? I think our fight setups in general are fine, but when we're fighting around objectives, we're actually quite bad. But
yeah.
Even against Cloud9, we found different ways of sort of like bringing you into the chaos and causing it to be like a scrap fight rather than, you know, what FlyQuest likes to do, which is, hey, we'll give up the first 2 dragon, we'll fight for the 3rd dragon. It'll be a very close game for the first 22 minutes. What's up?
I said I actually have a good point on this.
Go ahead.
Where have you seen this before?
Seen what?
Split 1. 100 Thieves did this exact same thing to FlyQuest. I guess it's a best of 3, but that this type of playstyle like does have some weight against them. But it has to be like you're on the same page. I think the problem you're gonna have is it took you a little bit to build that confidence, and the one thing is will FlyQuest give you that confidence? Because I think yes, you ended up winning that series, but it took us giving you that confidence and like. Because we made you realize, wait, these guys are shitting the bed, and then, like your team is such a, it's almost coin flipping in terms of confidence. Like when you're very confident in yourselves, it does look good. Like I know that from Fudge, like having him years on my team, like what he looks like when he's confident. And what like really aggravated me is Fudge's final game for C9 was on Aatrox, where he had the most pathetic game I have ever seen, where he played like vegan Aatrox, where he didn't do anything. He did like 2k damage or something that's silly, and just was always late to fights, did not know how to play that champion, and then the nail in the coffin was him playing Aatrox and doing well on it. But
yeah, you got that nasty like Red Dragon, the nasty Q2 flash to get to hit the what was Loki playing game 5? I don't remember. Like he had a nasty knock up on him, killed him, and then Kai'Sa had to Zhonya's and killed him. It was Annie versus something. I just don't remember what you guys played.
I actually can't remember, which is crazy.
Yeah, I'm blanking too. But either way, I do think like if you can get them into these scrappy fights, we have the opportunity to win. I think mechanically, like we're not that much worse. I would have said like Maso and Busio will completely destroy our bot lane, but Bevo is playing really well, and Seiyu's like I think he's the best support in Brazil, and I think he's leveled up a lot. I think Fudge is probably better than Bippo right now. I can't say much about the other 2 roles, but going into the beginning of the year, do you think I could say that we had a winning matchup in any lane? No. So I'm taking my odds.
I don't think Masu gives you the same sort of advantages that Sven gave you. Sven was playing for the other team that series.
I will say Masu has always said that he respects B-Boy a lot because he actually, when he was in academy, he used to text B-Boy and ask him about like lane matchups and stuff, and he thought that B-Boy was like a really, really solid player. which I think is kind of cool. I didn't know there was like that sort of relationship. But we don't need Bvoy and Seus to win the bot lane like they did against Cloud9. We just need them not to lose. Because at the end of the day, our playmakers are Contracts and Palafox. And right now, Palafox, like he has his on games, he has his off games, but we're seeing more and more on games than off. One thing we were worried about is like he has a good game like every now and then. Now it's like he has a bad game every now and then, which is way better than it was last split. So, if you're willing to give us the Annie, if you're willing, like whatever he showed they can play the Casio, he's willing to play LeBlanc. He clearly has that confidence and a little bit of anger. I mean, I'm liking our chances. I still think FlyQuest are the better team, but I'm not going to say that we have no chance. Whereas maybe before we played FlyQuest, like if you guys didn't pick us and pick Team Liquid and we had to play FlyQuest, I would have said it's most likely a 3-0 or 3-1. But the fact that we got to like build up our confidence and maybe learn some stuff from you guys after playing you guys and like correcting our errors and giving us one extra week, I think is really going to help us. And again, we're the underdog, which there is something to say about being able to punch up. And when the team like kind of gets like, oh wow, we lost that game, it hurts their ego.
We'll have to see. Should we talk about the final series for 100 Thieves potentially?
Yeah, we can talk about Lions versus 100.
Where do you see this going? I don't know. Nothing would surprise me. Like, yes, I think Lions started to look better, but I could also just see this being a clean series for 100 Thieves. Like, it depends who starts. Do you think Sniper sees a minute in this series?
0 minutes.
If we're saying Dokla, then I think this is a 3-0 for Lion, personally. Because Quid, like, the thing is, the one thing that you could lean on before was Quid and River. They've looked absolutely abysmal. Whereas I think Saint's looking a little bit better. He was shaky before, but I think he's starting to improve. I think the bot lane's pretty decent. And Serdi has more time to... And I think Oddie's playing decent, to be fair, actually. Like, he's surprised me quite a bit. Because this team was like quite abysmal before. But I think I thought this team was doomed when they're like he was talking about like the changes after Split 2, saying like, yeah, this team, I don't know about it, but they found a level of footing, and I think that'll be enough to be what will be 100 Thieves' final series in the closet.
In the closet, just the way they deserve. I will say this. I watched last year NRG go 5 games against Dignitas. And in game 5, Dignitas was completely lost. I mean, NRG were just like thousands and thousands of gold up. The game was pretty much over. They took one last fight mid lane. And Huhi ults the carries of Dignitas, and Sven, and I think it was Jensen at that time. And they're in Hourglass, and then Dokla comes in as Kennen, and you're like, okay, it's over. He's just gonna press R as soon as the Hourglass ends, as soon as Bardalt ends, he's gonna kill the 2 carries because they don't have any summoners, and it's GG. And he presses R while they are in stasis. And flashes as well. And like completely and entirely ints the game away. Even Licorice was like started laughing mid-fight because he's like, what the hell did Kennen just do? Just like absolutely lost in the game. And it was the most tragic way for NRG to lose that series because they were like, who he was smurfing on the board. It was just like Dokla did not want to win that game. I envision it going very similar, where it's going to go to 5 games and 100 Thieves are going to look like they're about to win, and then they're going to find a way to completely and absolutely chuck the game and lose in 5, and it's going to be very heartbreaking, but it is what it is. I don't have faith. I know the Scrim Bucks are saying that 100 Thieves are playing a lot better. They're playing a lot better. I don't think that matters. I think Lion is just a better team.
What is that like? What are they determined? Because they're not placing the. I think that I know they're definitely blacklisted from C9. I don't know.
Yeah, I heard that
else.
too.
Like they may be blacklisted from other top teams, we don't know. what is doing well? Because that may be
And
against like a
DSG and Team Liquid,
DSG and
maybe? I don't know.
DSG and a
Yeah.
Dig or something. Like, okay, like you're beating up like other bad teams. So what does that actually matter?
Yeah, so I don't have faith in Hundred Thieves, unfortunately. I found out from David that, I mean, it's a video that he posted, so it's public, it's not private info. That apparently they lost after FBI was saying this after Split 1 finals. They lost faith in Golden Glue's drafting. I think that is bananas because Golden Glue, the way he drafted, got them to Worlds. His ability to get them champions that are all cohesive together, that the players can actually play, was like something that he was consistently praised by pros in teams and everybody. The fact that he was able to get away with these drafts was like, even though they weren't 100% meta, but he just knew his players. And to lose confidence as River, as Sniper, as Quid, this guy like really brought you together. Maybe not River, but Quid and Sniper and Ayla. This guy is the one that actually gave you your spots. Like, I understand FBI being like, oh, I don't like, it's my first split here. I don't think he drafts really well. Sure, but the rest of the team, really? Jungle Juice, really? Like, I don't have faith in this team.
Yeah, I really didn't like hearing that. They've lost faith in their coach, so we're just gonna draft for ourselves. And then since then, they haven't got like even a sniff of any success in this league. So
They finished bottom 4. They finished 6th, if I'm not mistaken, or 5th. Yeah, they finished 5th the second split, and now they're likely going to finish bottom 2. So
they
how did that go for you?
deserve what they get at this point.
Yeah.
Like these players aren't gonna get jobs next year anyways. So I hope they enjoy being in tier 1 while it lasts, because it is like Carolyn's right, it's ultimate ego for players that aren't good. Like, check your fucking ego at the door. Because where do you get, like, I would understand more C9 C9's players losing faith in their coach for drafting, because you actually saw in these games we were still doing stuff with these champions even though the comp was terrible, and then it ended up just mattering at the end. Like, in the end, like, the Rek'Sai was proved unwinnable, but even in that game we were still like, what, 1.5k gold up. We were actually still doing something. And then in game 3 we made some comeback plays. I know there was a bit of B-Boy having a Sven, a double-lift moment at the end where he just flashes in and then gets Renekton W'd, and then, but it's just,
I saw the game an extra 10 minutes, but you know, we finished it out. Yeah.
Like, it's just absurd. Like, and especially like management. I understand you're leaving the league at that time already, but why are you not stepping in? And because what's the point in your coaches then? Like, why are you allowing the players to take over, and then you see the results? Like, halfway through that split, just get the players back on board with the coach. Because what's the point in him being there? It was obvious that he had no input from that. And from that moment, he was obviously done with his team. Like, he has no input. They don't respect. If you're not, when they say about draft, they mean they don't respect this coach. They can say it's about drafting, but it's very evident that they just had no faith in this coach. So
it reminds me 2022 Team Liquid, after they lost to Danny, like that whole pentakill thing happened. Just so people remember, Team Liquid were like 6,000 gold ahead that game. It looked like they were absolutely stomping EG, like it wasn't even going to be close. And then the Baron Steal happens, and momentum completely shifts. They lose that. And then their coach, who like Gyoto, who was like a great coach, basically Steve came up to him and was like, hey, we're taking drafting away from you. Which again, like, just means the players have lost confidence. And then what happened in Team Liquid? They don't even make it to Worlds that year. Like, that's, I mean, it doesn't work out when your player's supposed to have a coach and the coach, like, loses control over.
Happens, you need to just sever ties. Because it's called in soccer, like, you've lost the dressing room. I don't know if it's the same in, like, basketball, but that's what it's called when the manager, also the coach, like, loses the dressing room. Like, the players are done. Like, the relationship's severed. You have to go. Because it's always going to be the coach. It's always going to be the coach that goes and not the players.
Yeah, they got rid of Mithy, immediately brought in Reaper. Like, they did not let it, like, linger, right? They cut their ties, and maybe you could argue it was a bad idea because Mithy went and had a lot more success. But either way, like, they realized, hey, this isn't working. Let's get rid of it.
Yeah.
I thought they should have kept him as like an assistant coach, but maybe he didn't want to. But you know, history is history. So
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say on 100 Thieves. I guess we could
you
just
want to
quickly
dig
do
this,
like
guys?
dig versus Disguise. Yeah, we could just do quick predictions for that, maybe.
Probably 3-1 disguised. I I can't, in any honest faith, like predict Dignitas to do anything. You're constantly rolling over your players. Your management is just screwing. Like every player that plays on Dignitas has bad things to say about Dig. Like
Mhm.
that just the environment sucks. Surdy literally left and was like, the environment sucked. And then you brought in a Korean who was a little bit better than Surdy, but like is not gonna. You're gonna finish bottom two. Like I just despise the way Dignitas do run their team from an operational standpoint. I think Toby's really cool. I just saw an interview with Darkwings, who basically all the good things he had to say about Dignitas was, yeah, Toby's cool. I think Toby's really cool. He streams sometimes. It's fun watching his streams. He has a mean LeBlanc. That's the only good thing I can say about this team. I like the player. I like Isles. But I like again. I don't think the players have a fair shot when they go and play on Dignitas. Like you are setting
No,
yourself up for not success but for failure. So
there's
like
no
when a player
strategy for
doesn't play
them.
well, yeah, when the player doesn't play well on Dignitas, you're like, oh, he's washed. I'm like, no, he's on Dignitas. Tomo looked way better on Other Thieves. What's his name? Sven is doing much better on Cloud9. Who else wasn't on there? Like, I mean, even when Shaden was playing on EG, he looked, maybe not. Maybe Shaden's like the only player that like actually looks okay, but he didn't really have a great shot to begin with. So either way, I just think this team's like, just get them out. Just get them out. Just lose, please.
I think it'd be a
Lose in peace.
3-2 because
I can see that.
I don't have that much faith in Disguise either. Like to cleanly close this out.
That's
Um,
fair. I don't think this guy's the cleanest team, but Palafox did say from scrims, this guys are playing better than Team Liquid. So if that means anything, even if it's like a 1% buff to disguise, I'll take that over Dignitas. Like,
yeah, maybe. Right. So the thing, last topic I want to bring up is kind of piggybacking on what we was discussing last week with what we think maybe like could be good additions to the LTA/LCS next year is adding more co-streamers to the broadcast, because today I don't know if you saw in like our little chat that a football creator has gotten co-streaming rights to an official European soccer league, the Bundesliga. So instead of just live viewing these games, he's now going to be able to have the official match day broadcast on the thing, and it made me realize, like, so, the owner of NBC, like Comcast, also owns Sky TV in the UK, so it's like we're the UK version of NBC. And what they've started doing this year and last year is incorporating like people with big social media presence onto their broadcast a lot. Not always during like match days. That's still more for like the professional players and ex-players and pundits and stuff. But during like the day, like in the middle of the day or whatever, they will have like social media creators coming on and doing like an hour show on like to build up stuff throughout the week and getting people more engaged during the week and not just people tuning in for the matches. And I really would like to see this more in LTA, because I think that's one of the only ways we save this is incorporating these big names. I don't think, not like kicking Azael and Kobe off to die, for example, and then replacing it with Dom and LS, but I think you should be having a host, and then you should be having like Emily, Raz, and then a consistent co-streamer there each week, one of them. Making this more of like they are part of the broadcast rather than they're watching the broadcast. Um, that would be my thing, because if they truly want to care about the revival of NA League, they need to be part of this solution, and that includes like weekly shows. Like they used to have this or that, and amongst the other shows that you'll know, you need to start incorporating these creators into everything, in my opinion. and really start rebuilding?
I think those are two different things. There's co-streaming as like an art, I guess, like the fact that he's this professional player is allowed to co-stream in the NFL and American football. We also open that door to pros co-streaming games. Um, I think that's been talked a lot about. What you're more talking about is like incorporating the co-streamers into the sort of weekly content rather than the broadcast. Or maybe like not specifically in like casting the games,
because you don't want it to be overbearing. You don't want it to be overbearing where like Emily and Raz and Zale, Kobe, they're all like gone, and you're having it more feel informal. You want like a very good mixture.
Like, would it be cool if every week on the dive we have like a rotating guest? Like one day it's LS, one day it's Dom. Like it would be really cool to have Ludwig on there one week. Like just randomly show up. It would be cool to have like Mrs. Jim. I mean, I'm not a huge fan. I don't really watch her, but if she's there, she co-streams the games. Like, people like that. I think it would be cool to have like a rotating list of guests that vary in skill level and in like fandoms is another thing, because the idea of this is like you're bringing different people into different audiences. If you're just like targeting the same audience over and over again, like that's good, but you also want to target different audiences. I think teams honestly should be doing more of like cross, platforms, not platforms, but like audiences. I do like that idea a lot, to be honest. I don't know how they would like consistently be able to like book guests like that. It might be difficult. Maybe it's like every other week or something like that. But I think it's something like an avenue that we really do need to explore.
The first thing you can do is a podcast. I think start that by having that a weekly podcast between, I don't know, like you could Dom and LS are like the first people to come to mind when it comes to North America. You can have a guest of casual, but my thing is,
Yamato could be another guest.
You want it more to be the North American creators that are pushing this, because if you're having to rely on like casual popping in now every now and again to boost the viewership, that's not sustainable long term. So you really want to have like Dom, LS, Doublelift, Sneaky, Meteos try. And I know he's not a content creator, but having Bjergsen on like a broadcast, because you'd want like a revolving door of players, ex-players, but also creators.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, how many creators are in the scene? That's what I was thinking. Like, you need to kind of start expanding, because
when you say Dom and LS, and then the list goes like immediately off a cliff. Like when you stop saying those names for North America.
Yeah, that's another problem. Like, we don't have that many content creators that are like invested in professional League of Legends. We have a lot of League of Legends creators. Tyler Lauren, like the list goes on and on and on and on and on. But like that are invested and would like want to do something like this, I don't know. I think partly it's because Riot never really tried. The teams never really tried with these players, so they never really invested into that like avenue. I think the other part is just whenever teams were getting like content creators as signing them as content creators, they did such a horrible job of incorporating them that now like any content creator just doesn't feel like, besides Basil and now Dominate, but like he's more of a coach rather than like a content creator. It's just name a content creator that you see him and you're like, oh yeah, that's why I'm a fan of this team, because of that person, or that person brings in like views and stuff. Like Lorlo, Midbeast, like those are Team Liquid content creators. Those don't really like.
Midbeast doesn't really bring in the views, even though like you will identify him immediately as a Cloud9 person.
Yeah, I think Meteos might be a good example of like he had his heyday and now maybe it's not really like that. But like, no team decided to sign Doublelift, and like even if they did, would Doublelift really be like, hey, this is my team, I'm cheering for them, I'm interviewing them after games, I'm like doing stuff. LS tried to do that a little bit, but I feel like he just very inconsistent.
That's where you'd have to actually hire them though, as like people officially part of like Riot, and having them consistently, whether that's like a weekly, like whether that's just having like a weekly thing, even if LS is remote, where LS is breaking down these drafts and bringing him in. Like you can immediately like quick transition to LS, saying like we've got LS on the line. Even if he's not even like got his webcam on, you can just hear his voice over the tannoy in the studio. Like you will have people tuning in just to hear what you're saying, and not like the drawback you'll have is, will the co-streamers want to take away from their actual like co-streaming that they've like built up, especially like a person like Dom who has took a lot of time to actually build up his audience to a point where like he's one of the more successful in the region. So like you'll always have that drawback, but I do think maybe that's the next step forward, is the co-streamers go away from the co-stream and they are now the broadcast. So like every week, like every single week, like you have Dom in LA, LS in LA, and they're on the broadcast consistently. So like after a series, you have LS standing there on like one of the monitors, and he's going down draft, and he's talking about like pathing and all this stuff, and you start to incorporate that way.
I think so. I think that's like a very useful method. I think like even people who are just league adjacent, like not league LTA adjacent, even just like league players, like I think Pokimane, or not Pokimane, what's her name? The Lily Pichu, yeah, she plays a lot of League. Like, bring her on. Like, just bring these. You brought in Miss Chim Chim. Bring in like other League of Legends creator. Bring in Tyler One more often. Bring in, these content creators. I don't know if Tyler One still plays League, honestly, but like, bring them in and see what happens. What's his name? Scump is playing a lot of League right now. Like, he's addicted to League. Bring him in. Bring him in. As an Optic fan, I'm like, hell yeah.
I thought they missed the boat with having Courage there more often.
Yeah.
Because he was one that's actually invested in the
They tried it, and it was working.
Mm-hmm.
They tried it. It was working, yeah.
Oh, David. Oh, wait, sorry. Sorry, Shynock. I'm just letting everyone who may have not seen it know that David has had a more successful rebrand than the LTA.
And it's only been 3 days.
I got that from David's stream. I can't take ownership of that one.
Gorilla Jones, hell yeah! Like bring in Gorilla Jones, just like
no.
I don't know. Be fun
who
with
we need?
It. Like,
we need Drew now. We need like Drew's corner where he's just sitting, like he's just banning people, like he's just analyzing people's like logs and then banning them on the spot.
You know how sometimes they play like a little bit of short recording of like a team content, and they're like, check it out on YouTube, like between games. Instead, it's just like Drew looking at his notes. He's like, you liar! Like just like frantically writing out the tweet, and the tweet shows up. Scump would be amazing. I agree. I think like we started doing it in 2024. This is the other thing that I've been talking about. 2024, Mark Z gets a little bit of control, does a lot of really cool changes. You got pros, you get like a lot of different co-streamers. We saw Ludwig, I think, even before. Or maybe it wasn't Ludwig. We saw Mrs. Chim Chim. We saw a bunch of like, I think Courage even came on. I think someone else.
Courage definitely casted a couple of 100 Thieves games. No, because there was like a running theme of like them not winning when he casted them.
That's right. We saw a bunch of this happening in 2024. Like, why did we stop it? Did we not realize it was working? Like, I don't know. I think maybe we had Lorlo on one day. Yeah, we did have Ludwig. Oh, cutie. That's right. She had like that segment where she was like cooking or something. I don't remember exactly. It's been a while. Like I'm old as well. So
I was like when they were roasting fudge, I believe.
Yeah, it was like I didn't know about these creators. Not like I didn't watch these creators. I knew about them, but it like gave me an opportunity to interact and see. Hey, I actually like this creator, so I'm gonna watch them. And I don't like this creator, I'm not gonna watch them. But at the end of the day, like their followings also mattered to the LTA, and it's just. I don't know. I feel like I talk about this every week, and I don't really want to be a broken record, but you had stuff that was working, and you stopped doing it, and now it's not working, and you're like, Pikachu face? Question mark? Like, I don't know.
It's a mess. Not that we've not said that before. Should we go on to, Actually, do we have to? I was going to say, do we have to go on to fan questions?
We do.
I'll let you read them out. I'll let you do the
All
privilege.
right, let me pull up the first one. So again, if you haven't joined our Discord, we'll put that in the description. For some reason, I can't put it in chat because I'm not a mod. What's up?
I was gonna say, let me quickly get that.
Yeah, if you could put it in chat, we'll put the Discord link. But this is where we make all the announcements if we change the day or timing or anything like that. And you can ask podcast questions that we can go into. Marn will put that link in the description and in the chat. So question one comes from Poppy 343. What do you think hinders C9 gameplay the most at the moment? I'll let you answer that one first, because I feel like my answer is just like they're kind of soft.
Wait, what is going on here? Okay, hang on.
Oh, I see. You have it on the same screen, so you can't like
Something is absolutely shit the bed.
Well, now there's two of me.
Yeah, I'm
Technical difficulties. All right, while you figure that out, I guess I'll just give my answer. I think really what's hindering Cloud9 is I just think they're soft. Like they get punched once and they kind of crumble. I think they play well. I legitimately believe Cloud9 when playing well are a great team. I think Shopify right now are a good team. But when Cloud9 aren't playing like a great team and we're playing like a really good team, it gets really close and we're able to win. We're also leveling up, so that, I mean, maybe it's not fair, but I just think like
Carolyn, just for the Discord links in there.
I don't see it. Is it in the description or in chat?
I just put it in the chat for now.
I don't see it.
Really?
Can you pin it, maybe? Did you do it from
it's
your account
I'm on
or from
wrong account? I think I'm
Yeah, you gotta do it from your account. Yeah, not from your account, but from the LTA report.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if Cloud9 can figure out like this mental thing that they have, where like whenever things go hard, they kind of soften up. If they can like really toughen it out. Also, it's a lot to do with the format. Like, how many best of fives did we get compared to how many best of fives do they get in LPL? You know, that's another thing. Whereas like in LPL, they might get like 10 best of fives. Like they get way more practice. Whereas in NA, like they had what, 2 best of fives? Or 3 best of fives, that's it? Right? Like they don't have that much time to really steel themselves to get all those matchups in order to they didn't play FlyQuest a single time to split. Like just think about how crazy that is. Like the top two teams have not played.
We've only played you in the best of 1 and then 2 best of 5s.
We didn't play split 1 at all. Split 3, we only played in playoffs because you guys picked us. You easily could have dodged us. Like we could have just not met, to be honest. So I don't think the format is doing you guys a lot of favors. Also, the fact that we only get 2 world spots, but or up to 2 world spots. In the end of the day, like you just have to go with the blows, right? If the format sucks and you only get 2 spots, up to 2 spots at Worlds, you have to adapt, and then figure things out. And it feels like you guys aren't that good at playing in unideal conditions.
I think that comes down to like the history that we've seen of these players, and it should okay. I've put it in the chat now.
All right, there it is.
Yeah. If anyone that wants to join, we've seen consistently Reaper squads falter when like they shouldn't. The biggest hindrance, though. I think this team just lacks a veteran, and that's crazy because we have 3 players that have been playing for like 1 over a decade, and 2 that are getting close to that. There isn't a player when something's going wrong that they're going to pull the team by the scruff of their neck and get their team out of trouble. It feels like if the ship starts going down, we are going down. And like that's on the coaches. It's like that's on Reaper as well. I think he's never been able to suss that out, and I think he's been like a bigger component than some of the players. I think like a lot of what I've been disappointed at is people already looking at the like what our roster's gonna look like next year. It's so hard to predict. Like we shouldn't be like the split's not over. Like I don't think people realize we could still win. We can still win NA playoffs. Like yes, we didn't lose, and it's like okay, like spots are locked off, and you can't get there. We can still go to the cross conference as the first seed. And how unlikely that is, like I think it's very unlikely based on how we're playing, evidently. But
wait, can you? I don't think you can, right?
Oh no, because yeah, we can get first seed because we have to win in NA. Yeah.
Is that really how the bracket?
Yeah, because you have a finals.
The format is just so.
You have a final. You have a grand finals for NA. There's an NA champion.
Is it not just the upper bracket? Wait,
I thought it was you play a best of 5 at the end to crown the NA champion.
Let me take a look here. Okay, let me look at the bracket. Sometimes it's a little hard to find. Okay, so this is the bracket. Oh, that's not the bracket. I lied. Wait, where's the bracket? I could have sworn I saw it. Oh, there it is. Okay, so yes, there is a grand finals. It's gonna happen on September 7th.
Yeah.
So yeah, technically you guys could win 1 match, 2 matches, 3 matches, and then the 4th match is gonna be the grand final. So yeah.
How likely that is? I mean, let's just get to the cross conference first. We'll deal with it as it comes.
Yeah. Next question here is from Dr. Leo Spaceman DDS, aka Carolyn. If Lion make a lower bracket run, would you consider it a miracle run or not surprising? It would be
miracle
a huge
run.
Miracle
Absolutely.
Run. Like
I'd be right up there with one of some of the biggest that there's been in this region.
You have to beat CLOUD9. Like 100 Thieves did it last year, I know, but like I think Lion are even less of a situation where like they should have less of a chance of beating CLOUD9. You at the end of the day, you have to beat CLOUD9 and Team Liquid. If I know the form, yeah, you have to beat both of them. If you can beat both of them to make a lower bracket run, I think it's more best of 5s against teams that are technically better than you. It's much more rigorous. You have to play. Okay, they have to play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 best of 5s in order to make it. Or I guess that's the 5th one. So 4 best of 5s. I think that's just crazy to do because one of them is going to be against
best of 5 to split this year. Imagine
yeah, that would be actually
best
insane.
of 5 this year
with a sub top laner, dude. They beat Lion, then they beat Team Liquid, then they beat CLOUD9, then they beat Shopify, then they beat FLYQUEST. Like that, yeah, that's just I don't see it. There's no way. It would be the biggest miracle run in NA history.
Wait, where was the line for Karen? Was it like qualify for Worlds?
She said if they make a lower bracket run, I'm assuming making
let us
making
know, Carolyn, where's the line?
Even if the line is top 3, that's still beating 100, then Team Liquid, then CLOUD9 to be top 3. That's
what Karen's saying if they finish like top 4, so like beat TL but 4. Lost to C9. BTL.
Okay, that's not.
Well,
I wouldn't say it's
subjective because you don't know really where to rank Team Liquid.
It would be surprising, but it wouldn't be a miracle run.
I think I kind of wanted to actually touch on that point quickly. Do we think teams need to stop going at it based on paper than what teams are actually playing like? Because I do believe we picked you guys because on paper we think you guys are arse. Like you look at the names, Palafox, piece of piss.
Like, on paper and in scrims, apparently you guys like just only really lose a couple games to us.
Apparently we actually really for some reason we don't do as well against TL apparently in scrims. But
it's probably because there's more fighting and the bot lane just gets ahead and like it's easier for them to win the game. Whereas
I think people
I was talking to CoreJJ about this.
Sorry, go ahead. Go very quickly. I think people are just scared that TL could just suddenly go like that and then they're good again. But I think we've seen enough of that to indicate that they're not. They're not that team that was even split one, when I don't think they were playing well at all really, and they still won the split. Like I think they just look at the roster on paper and they think that they're gonna turn into the TL Super team that you had last year, where they were a world-class team.
Yeah, I think one thing CoreJJ mentioned is like in scrims, we dominate the early game and the game kind of completely collapses. We just destroy them. But on stage, even if we dominate the early game, teams don't give us the same opportunities. They don't keep fighting and just losing every single fight. They're smarter about how they play. And so it's like really frustrating to be able to like practice that aspect of the game of like converting your lead into wins when the strategies that you practice do not translate to stage. And now that's on the coaching staff to kind of figure that out, to be honest, on the players. But I do think that what we saw from Team Liquid against FlyQuest is a clear level up of their play. I think they leveled up. I think their mid laner APA is playing a lot better. I thought Impact was stable for once, like he was getting solo kills. He was much more stable, which is really what you want to see. UG is still UG. Unfortunately, he's not empty. Like he's not a top 3 jungler. Like he just isn't. He's not even a top 4 jungler. Like he's a bottom 4 jungler. He's new. He's a rookie. What do you expect? And then I think Jan is just playing out of his mind. I do think they have an opportunity to beat Lion. I think it'll be close because Lion are a good team. But if they do beat Team Liquid, I think it's surprising, but definitely not a miracle run. I think the miracle run starts if you beat Cloud9. That's where the miracle is.
Yeah. It'd be crazy if we did this whole segment on like Lion and then 100 Thieves beats them.
I don't want to think, dude. I do not want. Look, regardless of like who I think is better or not, I just don't want to see more Dig and 100. I just don't. Everything 100 has done in the past 2 months.
I'm meant to check that 100 Thieves.
Getting rid of Sniper after bringing in Dokla, I think is messed up. What I found out about how they're treating the coaching staff, Golden Glue specifically, I think is messed up. Like I want this team just to lose. I'm sorry, David Shynock, if you're still here. I'm sorry. I just want this game. I just want them done. I don't want to talk about them for another week or 2 weeks or however many weeks. Like they're gonna toss 100.
I mean, hopefully after this week we don't have to talk about them again.
Yeah, I want 100 T. Yeah, I feel you, Carolyn. Like it's such a shame. Like from how it was split 1 to how it's become. That is a drastic fall off. Like you made some really bad decisions. First, your president goes out publicly says, if you want a league team, be fans of C9. Don't be fans of us. Like then they sell their spot. That's one of my proudest
tweets ever, by the way.
I know they sell their spot as well.
Proudest tweets.
I want both of them out. I want Dignitas and 100 to just lose in peace and let us get into teams that are committed to the league.
You'll be hard.
All right, I think that's all the questions that we have. That was a banger. Agreed.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have anything specific you want to shout out, Marn?
Shout out to C9 fans that aren't overreacting, because I feared the worst when we lost. That it's just gonna be like 10 threads on Blabber. It wasn't too bad. I think we kept it pretty calm, like for the most part. I know that Twitter can get quite bad, but I think like we're actually still somewhat confident that we can turn this around, and it's just a blip.
On my end, shout out to UMD Terps. We actually, my team scrimmed them yesterday, which was really cool. I wore my Maryland shirt, University of Maryland. That's what we are, the Terps. They're my alma mater. I'm an alumni from there, and currently the students there, they have an esports team. It was really cool to scrim them. I had a lot of fun. Just the fact that they went to the school there and stuff is cool. Shout out to our Discord again. Like I will keep shouting it out, but yeah, just follow us on Discord. And here on YouTube, like we're posting more consistently, like shorts. We're clipping out some of the cool parts for you guys. So even if you miss an episode, like you can kind of get the talking points of like what's happening, what's going on. And shout out to Martin. He's been putting a lot of effort, like the rebrand, the new logo, the background, like a lot of this stuff has come straight from Martin. I am very stupid when it comes to these things. As you can see from my own channel, I am not very smart at it. So shout out to him for putting in all the effort that he has. And shout out to Woohee for starting the Discord. I've been really enjoying people joining in Discord. We got emojis now. Like we're improving.
One of them will have to
I will
go
also
soon.
try to. What's up?
I said one of them will have to be removed soon once they get kicked out the league. I don't know why I put
One of
them
them
in
have to, yeah. It'll be replaced. I don't know. Yeah, it'll be replaced.
Actually, we may have like when they're eliminated or kicked out leagues, we're gonna have them like as a grey logo instead.
Ooh, no, that's smart. I like that. I like that. Like dead. But yeah, and then I will try from now on to put timestamps on the VOD. So if you're watching the VOD later, you know exactly where each topic, like obviously we have the topics kind of highlighted whenever we're talking about them, but we'll try to put timestamps so you can quickly just scroll and figure out exactly when we start the next topic. But yeah, if you have any other suggestions, by the way, that was a suggestion that came from you guys on Discord. If you have any other suggestions, just hit us up, and maybe we'll even start like a suggestions channel so you can put stuff
Suggestions
there.
box.
And yeah, suggestions box. And yeah, I think that's it from us. Peace, guys.